Right now, on paper, the Middle East is supposed to be in the middle of a 2-week ceasefire. But if you look at the explosions in the night sky over the Israeli border, it tells a completely different story. Even though American negotiators secured this temporary pause, Israel and Hezbollah are still trading heavy blows. The rockets and airstrikes have not stopped. Neither side is actually resting. They are using this tight 2-week window to aggressively reposition and inflict maximum damage before they are forced to sit down at the negotiating table. Overnight, the Israeli military launched dozens of targeted strikes directly into known Hezbollah strongholds across Lebanon. The sheer scale of the destruction is massive. In the Dahia neighborhood of southern Beirut alone, Israeli forces killed over 200 Hezbollah combatants. At the exact same time, warning sirens are still blaring across northern Israel, as Hezbollah continues launching dozens of rockets across the highly militarized border. These casualties are highly deliberate. Both militaries are turning up the physical heat on the ground, specifically to build leverage before a critical diplomatic deadline hits this weekend. That deadline arrives in Islamabad, Pakistan. This weekend, the capital city is hosting high-stakes direct talks, serving as the final window to find a resolution before the temporary ceasefire expires. The incoming Trump administration is sending a heavy-hitting American delegation to lead the negotiations, anchored by Vice President JD Vance, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. But the Iranian regime is not waiting for the summit to start. They are already deploying an aggressive mix of economic pressure and massive disinformation campaigns to gain the upper hand. The actual fight to control the outcome of the Islamabad talks is happening right now. Every move made this week is about dictating the terms before anyone even sits down. As part of the current 2-week ceasefire agreement, Iran was required to completely reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial waterway for the global oil market. Instead, traffic has practically ground to a halt. Yesterday, only 4 vessels were able to make it through the passage. This map shows those shipping routes being squeezed. By intentionally bottlenecking these ships at this critical choke point, the Iranian regime is restricting global trade. The ripple effect of stalling that oil supply hits Western markets hard, a calculated move to inflict financial pain on the U.S. They are holding the global shipping industry hostage, betting that the threat of a prolonged economic crisis will force the American delegation to back down in Islamabad. While they squeeze the economy at sea, officials inside the Iranian parliament are launching an equally aggressive media war to spin the narrative in their favor. They recently leaked a document framed as a 10-point plan for the upcoming peace deal. But U.S. intelligence confirmed this document is entirely fake, an old draft pushed out to muddy the waters and project artificial confidence. The boldest claim in this forged document is the idea that Iran will be allowed to continue enriching uranium. Negotiators immediately rejected that claim. They confirmed that an updated, significantly stricter plan is actually on the table, and a nuclear green light is an absolute non-starter. By flooding the press with false concessions, Iran is trying to corner the U.S. delegation, forcing them to negotiate against a public narrative that does not actually exist. The incoming Trump administration is refusing to entertain these delays. They are stripping away the diplomatic ambiguity and replacing it with a hardline ultimatum. President Trump issued a stark public warning directly to the regime, stating that if Iran fails to fully comply with a real agreement, quote, the shooting starts. That threat is backed by immediate firepower. Fully loaded U.S. aircraft carriers and American military personnel are holding their positions directly outside of Iranian waters, locked and ready to execute. The United States has removed the middle ground. What started as a complex, multi-layered negotiation has been distilled into a strict binary choice for Tehran: sign the deal or face the military. So the stage is set. An armed American delegation is about to walk into a room with an Iranian regime that is actively stalling through missile strikes and media manipulation. These direct talks in Islamabad represent the absolute final off-ramp for the crisis. With the fragile 2-week ceasefire expiring this weekend, whatever happens at that table will decide the immediate future. They will either forge a legitimate, binding agreement, or the entire Middle East will be plunged back into a devastating regional war.